Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the semifinals of Kharak Cup number 8. This one's between YoloSwaggins and Descara, and to be honest, if I had to predict what I think is going to happen here, I'd say it's probably going to be 2-0 to Descara, but they should still be interesting matches, so we'll have to see how that goes. Going to be some coalition versus coalition here. First on Tauren Crater, that would have been Descara's pick. Let's see how good I am at predicting things. I think because he's picked Tauren Crater here, he's going to go for an AAV rush. That's my supposition. That would seem to fit pretty well with what YoloSwaggins tends to do as well, which is, you know, these kind of LAV openers, so that's my thought. We'll see if that's how it turns out. He's going to move out with his base runner, of course, as he typically does, already queuing that up over to the second base there, you can see that. You know, he really could go through the middle here. Well, okay, maybe he would be detected by the base runner if he went over to that artifact, but I don't think he would be spotted if he did that, but then again, he could be worrying about probes too, something like that, so perhaps there is reason behind this. Going to be LAV fabrication early, like we would expect. Descara, meanwhile, going support cruiser first, actually. Probably shouldn't be in AAV opener in this case, but he's probably just trusting that, you know, this is quite a large map. Rush distance, rush distance not at all very close. I should be fine to go for some early eco. It's about halfway finished now. And I don't know how much Descara knows about YoloSwaggins, but I think he's watched, you know, the previous videos on this channel, so he probably knows quite a bit about his playstyle. But this is also one that he's very comfortable with dealing with, is like these early LAVs right here. You won't even see Garmulator really do this kind of stuff against him. Normally Garmulator goes for some AAVs with turret placement in the beginning, and they kind of mirror each other that way. Sport Cruiser comes out, carrier moving over. Once again, only 2 salvagers made. I never know which one you're supposed to do. I'm a pleb, I'm sorry. Some kind of furious beeping going on as these probes try to like juke and jive with each other. It's pretty funny. Descara gonna see the LAVs coming out here. He may lose this probe. Yeah, looks like he will. But he saw everything he needed to see, and I would expect that we're gonna see AV fabrication pretty much immediately. There it is. Yolo, meanwhile, stacking quite a couple of resources right there. And I wonder if he's going to go for support cruiser. That seems like, yep, there you go. That's going to be his choice. So you know the drill. If you're going to slow yourself down economically, you've got to get something done with these guys who are out here in the opening. No turret getting set down, actually, by the base runner. I believe that's because he saw the support cruiser here with his probe. So he's going to be like, yeah, well, the carrier's on the second base. There's no way I'm going to be able to do anything with it. So he'll go over here and grab the close artifact, which I think is a good move. Turret is set up here from Descara, gonna basically shut down any attempts at harassment by these LAVs. I don't think that's enough compensation, having, you know, forcing your opponent to set down a turret to justify having slowed down your eco there. So I would think that Descara would be slightly ahead right here. And he got AV fabrication, but he hasn't even made any because he doesn't see himself getting really pushed at all, which I got to agree with. So I think he'll be very happy with how this opener went down. And he's going to go fighter and gunship fabrication. I haven't seen this from him for a while. I used to always expect he would go air every single game, but I haven't seen it in a little while, so that's pretty fun to see. This LAV just going to try its best to kill the base runner. It'll take, you know, an eternity or so. Railguns finished for YoloSwaggins. Kind of perfect for Descara, right? I mean, you're going to want your opponent to have railguns right when you go into fighters. And he's going to begin producing them immediately, so that's pretty interesting to see. Carrier production upgrade on the way. Looks like he's pretty comfortable staying on 2 bases. Descara beginning to make some AAVs. It looks like he wants to send them out across the map. Not going to be able to do really too much to his opponent this way, but he's probably just hoping to put some pressure on and see if he can get map control, you know what I mean? And he's got the counter on the field now for the 5 LAVs, so he's not going to have any trouble with those. Fighter and gunship is finished. Let's see if Descara plans to immediately begin making those. We normally see him go for about 5, right? And there's the first one before he will launch them out. But these LAVs could see that, and that's important information to have. You can see those little crosshairs on the landing pad right there. That's how he knows. Not sure if he's noticed it or not. It is kind of hard to see from like, all view. You sort of have to look at it. They're coming. In fact, 3 queued up now. And actually, I take it back. Looks like Yolo does want to expand into their base. He's making another Sport Cruiser here. Actually, Sport Cruiser anti-air coming out, so he did see it. That is quite fortuitous, but if he's going to go for Sport Cruiser anti-air, it means he's going to have to stay back home in order to defend against it, really. Which is fine, but that is going to mean that Descara manages, like, is going to, you know, get control of the map for a little bit here. We'll see what he plans to do with it. And actually, he's going to launch immediately, which is pretty interesting. I think because he knows his opponent had just seen it. Maybe he's hoping he can get something immediately, and indeed he can. He can get these railguns. It's timing very well with these AAVs who are also pushing. Sport Cruiser anti-air in about 30 seconds. That's his window. AV smoking up on their way to the base. One railgun getting taken out here. This looks like a very nicely coordinated push here by Descara. 2 railguns getting taken out. And now the AAV's actually going after the Sport Cruiser right now. I'm not sure if that's really the best option, but they're going to get a bit of damage on that one, I suppose. The real story is that 4 railguns now having gone down for this for YoloSwaggins. Sport Cruiser anti-air is out, and this strike fighter right here just going to get slapped down into the desert for it. You see him fall to his death. Oh, he made it back into the carrier, actually. Not in a good way, though. And this Sport Cruiser here being damaged does represent a bit of an annoyance for YoloSwaggins, I would think, but I don't know. I feel like he could have gotten some salvagers, and that probably would have been better. In fact, he did put some damage on these ones over here. But that was a really nicely coordinated move, you know, that was a lot of fun to see. Descara knows about Sport Cruiser anti-air now, he's not going to run in there again. I think that went very well for him. He's also going to go here, try and grab the second artifact. And like I said, this gives Descara quite a lot of air power, or sorry, quite a lot of map control here, because there is anti-air, but only back at home. And you know, YoloSwaggins can't really afford to move out with his railguns at all. So what has he got to contend with AAVs? He doesn't have anything. So Descara should grab this artifact. That should be pretty easy for him. LAV's gonna try and get something done over here, and actually they're gonna kill a salvager, perhaps. That'd be a bit sloppy. I really feel like that should. Oh. Yeah, I feel like he gave it a move command, but he's just like, oh, well, what does that mean? So, I'm not sure if we can blame Descara for that one, but that's a little nice pickup for these LAVs right here. Well, the base situation's looking, YOLO's definitely very slightly behind, but he's getting up onto his third now, which is nice. The Sport Cruiser, in fact, definitely out of position right here. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but... Actually, whoa, 2 salvagers just getting picked off by these air units right here, right before that Sport Cruiser popped. That was pretty glorious timing, I would say. Artifact's also going to get sniped here by this AAV, and Descara should extract his second. So it looks like he's made some very good use out of the map control that he's got. Managed to get quite a few pickups of railguns there. 2 artifacts going to be extracted. Actually, 3rd on the way, it looks like. And if I'm YoloSwaggins here, I think I might get, you know, missile batteries, honestly, because I'm not sure how else I would be able to, you know, contest the air in the middle. Maybe you could use base runners, this kind of thing, I'm not sure. And perhaps that's what he's going to go for. Either that or he'll just mix Sport Cruisers into the army real early, which would be kind of, you know, Garmulator's style, but I'm not sure how well it'll work for him. That's a lot of time for your opponent to just have, you know, free control over the map. And indeed, 3rd artifact already getting picked up, so that's relevant. This probe here cheating death because he's like flying inside of the trough there. I'm not sure how this works out. I feel like he should be getting killed here, but... Is that... Okay, well now I know. That's where you put your probes on this map, because they're like impossible to hit. That's actually really cool. Yeah, see, the same way that Descara can put down these turrets to block the LAVs, I feel like YOLO should put down some anti-air turrets to block the strike fighters. But I don't know, it's hard to say. At any rate, I think what else is relevant here is that Descara has also himself gotten railgun fabrication. He has the mag accelerator already, heavy vehicles upgrades beginning to come out, and he's moving out with his carrier there. And YOLO's not very far ahead in the railgun count. Actually, only 1 railgun ahead, and that's going to change as Descara continues to produce them here, so... That could be tricky for YoloSwaggins. Descara going to kind of, you know, tempt fate over there flying around the Sport Cruisers, but he knows there's nowhere to push. And this is quite interesting. YOLO is going to try to push over on this side over here, and Descara is going to push on that one there. But I think Descara encounters less resistance in this case, doesn't he? He's only got, you know, I don't know, he's got a lot less room to have to, like, overcome to get to his opponent's base. Not sure how much he knows about this. Oh yeah, he knows about it exactly now. So I think if I'm Descara, sack this artifact. That's not that important. Just steam on ahead, and you should be able to do some mega damage to your opponent right here. This will be pretty exciting to see. Like I said, I feel like Descara should have the edge in all these matches, but they'll be fun still, you know? They'll be really interesting. You're only going to choose to split his forces here, but there's really no number of railguns that's going to hold this off. I think that's again one of the advantages of map control. Descara kind of knows where everything is. If you look at just the blue, you know, like there's a lot less vision on the field right now. Here come the rails. Descara already evacuating some of his bases. He doesn't want to take any chances over there. Artifact did get sniped out. But here comes Descara's army, and it's looking pretty tough. Power 4, by the way, on the way for both players, but Descara a little bit faster on the draw there. Just 6 modules gonna get taken out there. That's nothing too big, but you know, it's significant, I suppose. How many resources are these players stacking? Descara's got about like 500, so that can be useful. Obviously, in this scenario, you're gonna probably lose both of your base, like all of your bases, right? So if you have more resources, that's good. I feel like the focus fire somehow didn't turn out particularly well there for Descara, but he is catching the support cruiser out. Actually, these guys need to dock, which is kind of risky. He should move these AAVs back to take out that support cruiser, I rather think. There's a turret in the middle. Okay, these two AAVs can probably handle it. Yeah, Descara's railgun army goes marching on. How's YOLO doing? Finding no resistance, really, but that's because there's no one there. They've all kind of run away. What's the speed differential here? Like 10? So yeah, I mean, Descara's eco should be able to escape here, and I think that YOLO is not going to be quite so lucky. He should lose this support cruiser right here, I rather think. And Descara is going to go ahead and immediately inherit his opponent's main over there. Is this... That support cruiser can't get away? Oh, it can. It's actually out of vision. Well, that's pretty cool. You know what could be used? He could launch the air units here and like fly them over there. They're still out of range of the support cruiser, and they'll give vision so that the railguns can shoot at him. But yeah, I still think that this is going to be good for Descara. I think he's on his bases a little bit faster. Both players with artifacts in kind of the wrong side of the map, which I think is pretty fun. This turret here is going to smite down that base runner, I rather think. Maybe could have been saved by turning up here, but it's kind of a small deal, probably. Oh, it's going to be fine, actually. But Descara definitely wants to take out this base runner over here. He's coming up on this high ground position. Rails, I think, ought to be fighting... Oh, there's only one railgun here. I guess that's not so big an issue. And the artifact does get consumed. And both players, yeah, successfully executing the base trade. And I was saying it looks like it's better for Descara. He gets on his bases faster. It's actually pretty even now that I look at it again. But YOLO's been replacing his logistics modules, and Descara really hasn't, actually, which is a little bit dangerous to see, I think, because there's no way he can sustain, you know, like 85 logistics or whatever with, one. He's got one. Don't worry, guys, we got this. Yeah, so I think he needs to start putting down modules. You know, the game's not over yet, you know what I mean? It's probably saving up to Harzard 5, which is not a bad move. We know how these games tend to go, so whoever gets that first, usually in a good situation. And actually, both players... They've gotten it at, like, exactly the same time. Did you see that? They're on the same frequency. Now, I was saying YOLO ought to resettle his logistics modules. Maybe I was wrong, actually, because it looks like Descara's going to come up here and take them out. There wasn't really any time to build up a force again, and maybe that's kind of the, maybe that's the thinking here, actually, is that your opponent doesn't actually have time to rebuild his army, so if you can continue attacking, you're still going to have that same momentum you did when you first traded positions. So 2 logistics modules get taken out there. YOLO pushed off his bases again, and he wasn't pushing his opponent, so he's not going to be able to return the favor. And suddenly this is actually looking quite good for Descara, who I think was still doing just fine before, but now it looks like it's really good for him. Logistics modules getting replaced. And I think a lot of this is going to come down to these railgun, to these, what do you say, cruise missile shots. I think that's going to turn out to be really important here. But I think it still is looking good for Descara, even if something pretty bad happens to him. I think he'll still be good. He's got so much power that he hasn't advocated yet. It's kind of funny looking. I'd rather think he ought to, you know, power up 4 here and then 2 there. That'd be pretty snazzy. It's possible that he's actually wanting to keep him unassigned so that he can, like... Yeah, because YOLO's doing the same thing. It's possible they want it unassigned so that they can choose where it goes later a little bit faster, but I don't think that's really the case. At least I never do that kind of thing. Probably about time for Descara to abandon the bases again, but... he's definitely building up more and more every time. I really think he ought to be leaving this location already. Uh-oh. Okay, cruise missile finds an excellent location. But... no, of course yeah, okay, never mind. I was gonna say that I think those 2 support cruisers will get out of there, but... it's a cruise missile, nothing gets out of there. And actually, now there's only 2 railguns left, perhaps it's just fine for Descara to chill out over here. After all, he's got enough AVs almost to smoke himself off for like a long time in that scenario. This support cruiser here going to get taken out by the AVs. Yeah, once again, suddenly it looks very, very good for Descara, and with another artifact getting scored, he could even put more power into the weapons there if he wanted to. He's going to put it in armor, that's not a bad choice. After all, his opponent's cruise missile is ready, there could be shenanigans in that regard. It's worth being careful, right? But Descara's cruise missile only about half, you know, half the way, like, away from not being charged. I don't know how I'm trying to say that. YOLO is going to land right on his opponent's carrier right there, going to try to come in and kill it. But here are the railguns, they're in position. Strike fighters are here too, and there's anti-air, but not for long, I would think. Because there's quite a few of these. Support cruiser goes down, and now the target must be that carrier. Descara just going to put power 5 into the carrier. He'll be able to survive for a long time there, and he should have everything that he needs to kill off his opponent right here. So that ought to be all she wrote for YoloSwaggins. But like I said, what an interesting game. You know, that wasn't like Sparrow versus Kissland that we watched, where it's like, what is even happening here? It's still very exciting. And even if it wasn't the closest, I think YOLO can be proud of what he did there. That was pretty fun looking. Let's go ahead and check out game 2, shall we? This will be YOLO's map pick. Let's see what he chose for it. Unfortunately, of course, my knowledge in that regard is a little bit limited. I don't know what people have picked and what they've banned, but he's going to pick the Shallows, and I think that makes a lot of sense for his playstyle. Heavily focused on railguns, yeah. Not sure about the opening, like the opening of the game. He might be going more for these like LAV early aggression strategies, even on the Shallows, where they don't usually really work out very well. But I think in general the idea of trying to use a lot of railguns and kind of like unupgraded units, sort of 2-base pressure plays, or in the Shallows he generally would do 3-base, I think could actually work out really well here for YOLO. We shall see, won't we? We shall see. Excuse me. Just groaning. It's 4 on CUs like normal, and that's what you would do to do an eco opener, but like I said, it's probably... he hasn't gotten LAV fabrication just yet, so perhaps he's not planning on it this time. He may go Sport Cruiser first, which like I said, it would probably be the right move. Descara doing about the same, 2 salvagers over here, and then he'll almost certainly make a support cruiser. Yep, SC first for YoloSwaggins, SC first for Descara. YOLO's coming out actually a little bit earlier, but amazingly Descara managed to fit in another salvager there, and I think it has to do with quick drops if you look at the resources. Yeah. Because the Coalition carrier can produce the salvagers faster than you can get the money for them right at the beginning of the game, so you have to quick drop to be as effective as possible. Oh man, those things are so cool. Sometimes I forget about that. And then both of them going to LAV fabrication at just about the same time, so... Your typical boring Shallows game. Just kidding, but they are clearly, you know, thinking the same way. But yeah, one thing you'll notice about Descara, just even at this like very early stage, is that he seems to know exactly where to move and like when to move his carrier and like what time to make the salvagers. He knows how to quick drop, all that kind of stuff, and so that gives him just like a very slight edge. His carrier is pointed this way when the salvagers come out, so they come out on the backside. That's easier for them to get to the resources. He turns around, set his support cruisers right where he wants it to be, you know what I mean? It's something he's practiced a lot. You can tell he's quite proficient moving the washing machine carrier, which is no easy feat, I'd like to point out. At least not when I try it. Oh. So YOLO's going to choose to mix things up a little bit right here. You saw him going for AAV fabrication right there, but then he canceled it, and now he's going for Power Reserve 1. And Descara should know about this. He's got his probe in position. He knows that that carrier is moving out, and I mean, what else could this be for? But yeah, it really looks like YOLO is going to go for some kind of funky, you know, some kind of funky carrier rush strategy. Descara knows what to do. He's going to get railguns immediately, and actually he canceled AAVs as well once he saw the carrier moving out there, so you can tell he's aware of what's going on here. And Descara getting power reserves as well, barely going to be behind YOLO, which I think is definitely going to give him quite the advantage right here. He should have the eco edge. He should have the edge in... he shouldn't have the edge in carrier power, but he will have the railguns. And he's starting to move out too. What's going on here? I'm not sure what the idea is, but this kind of situation can always be tense because you never know how good your opponent is going to be at pulling this kind of stuff off. Picking up this artifact is good for Descara in case his opponent was going to have 3 base runners out, because that's something you would often do in these kinds of scenarios. Descara already making railguns, and he's got his carrier not quite powered up. Probably ought to click on that. Turret's getting set up here, actually. That's kind of interesting. The Sunder on the railguns, yeah, the turret can actually do, like, effectual damage to the carrier, but yeah, it just gets taken out immediately. That's kind of what I was expecting. That can't possibly have been for the damage output that it would give him, so I'm not totally sure why he made that, but he must have an idea. And I think for Descara, the plan has got to be just like, well, if you're here already, I'll just kill you now, right? I don't think he wants to wait at all. But that is going to be a little tricky as his opponent is getting artifacts, and so... I don't know, this could work for YoloSwaggins, and I'm really happy to see them try this. But carriers really get nasty when they have enough power that they can actually range your railguns, and it's not the case yet for YoloSwaggins. He's going to run in with those LAVs trying to get at the railguns, but Descara's carrier is here. And we know how good carriers can be screening railguns. That's like the classic thing that they do. I think even if the eco goes down for Descara entirely, it might just be too much for YOLO. Oh, that seems to be the case, because he's... No, he hasn't. Okay, I thought he had lost the support cruiser already. He's about to. So, there it goes. Descara's here. Actually gets a little too close with those railguns, but he should be okay here. Not going to have to put any power in range, so they actually still have equivalent, you know, power potentials and damage. I guess actually YOLO could put one more in there. But there's enough railguns here for Descara that it's gonna, you know, that's gonna tip the balance. And even though all these railguns have gone down now, I think that this carrier has got to be killed, right? fun to see people try it when they're up against, you know, some of these like best players in the game. And that turret actually is proving a little bit effective on this side now. There goes the turret. Nice hold by Descara, you know, it seems like he knew exactly what was coming, he knew exactly what to do about it, and that did not take him too long, so that's really fun to see. That's really fun to see. Very happy that YoloSwaggins trying to like do, you know, kind of fun stuff like this when he plays with Descara. First game was really funny, the way that they like ran around each other across the crater, and then this game is pretty cool too, so. Well played, I would say, to both players. Descara is going to be the finalist from this side of the bracket.